I went ahead and added a page about the skull analysis. It's all on here. I literally just copied and pasted it, so it took me 2 minutes. I fixed this video. I think I had just zoomed in and edited it, and it cut off part of the chin on the main page, and I just still haven't fixed it because I've just physically have been struggling with a lot of health problems, and now I'm starting to do a little bit better, even though I've had a migraine, have one right now, and had one for 2 days. So I accomplished this, and that takes a lot when you struggle with really bad migraines. And but it does include Dr. Niles Harrod and Dr. Van de Graaff. I probably should put it in different order, because according to Shannon Tracy, he first paid these people. This is the recent work. So in 1995, this is the same people, same company, Zygote Media, that had already worked with Dr. Kent and Van de Graaff. He's passed away, to do 3D images of Joseph Smith, and it cost a ton. It was way more money. I won't say how much, but I found out how much money that cost. It was a lot of men and really Shannon Tracy in the back, but he keeps being quoted as if he did all the Photoshop work, but there are photos of him just standing back going, wow, is Dr. Van de Graaff and Niles Harrod and the 4 men with Zygote Media are all at the computer. And Tracy's not at the computer. He's not creating the 3D. He's not doing the white. He's not doing any of it. It's a total lie. Do you understand that? Someone lied about what process they went through for the book In Search of Joseph. They're still lying. But there's a person that is very critical and mean. It's just a mean man that put me down and put Tracy down and is good friends with, what's its bucket. So it's upsetting. It's still, but anyway, but because when you look at this skull, okay, the maxilla is this area right here, this part of the bone is broken on the skull that I think Van de Graaff saw and Zygote Media, who was done 3D anatomy models. I mean, this is what they're doing now. I don't know how to get rid of the volume, so I'm just gonna, there's 2 seconds of that. Obviously they've gotten a lot better, and just technology has just gotten way better since 1995. Same people had always worked with him, Dr. Kent and Van de Graaff, and then Dr. Kent Van de Graaff, said his name wrong, I'm sorry, but he knew. I'm not laughing, I'm coughing. Dr. Niles Harrod, who was a maxillofacial surgeon. So according to Shannon Tracy, he's literally worked with people who've been in car accidents or whatever, like major reconstructive surgery of the maxilla. These are smart men, but it gets downgraded to just being Shannon Tracy. Just ignore Dr. Harrod, who's worked on the maxilla, and Dr. Van de Graaff, and then all these people. That's why I'm like, what? Why did I couldn't find a thing on this? Because I initially did not think anyone agreed with me. I thought it was me against Curtis Weaver in January 2018. I'm like, this guy's not right. I don't agree with him. Like, there's just so many things. I've made a lot of videos saying why I just disagreed. And some of the things that came to my mind were things I read in Shannon Tracy's book. And things that I couldn't have known. Like, I really believe it was the Holy Spirit. And I believe the study of the schools are important. I think God thinks it's important. I think people on the other side of the veil do. And unfortunately, Dr. Van de Graaff is on the other side of the veil. Dr. Niles Harrod is quite old now. I don't know if he is still working. I still found him online. You can click on that there. But again, Shannon Tracy first went to them. They had worked with this guy, and then now it's gone. So maybe something happened. I'll research that later. But that's the caliber. And not a single word on this page is Shannon Tracy's. Okay. But in 2008, he did get Dr. Cope, Dr. Katz, and Dr. Pickrell. But again, these are their words. This is not Shannon Tracy's words. So that's why when I saw Artist Partial saying, nobody agrees with you, Shannon Tracy. You're the only person that makes the schools like... I'm like, what? What? No. So this... but Shannon Tracy just on his own did mess with Photoshop and sort of thought that it looked... But what was published in the book, I talked to him, like, they made that. He paid them to make it. And it cost a lot of money, okay? And then Dr. Joseph Lyons didn't work with Tracy, but they concurred with it, and they did their own study checking the effect of an 1816 musket ball on a simulated human skull. Because he was a doctor, they were using an artificial skull that they were using in training in neurosurgery residents to cut out sections of bone from the human skull to practice, obviously, before they work on people. And the skull sat on a wadded newspaper at the back of a box behind a piece of a well-dried 0.5-inch thick black walnut board held in place by half-inch wood cleats at the bottom. Our goal was to replicate the amount of resistance to a musket ball that the bedroom door would have offered. The skull was positioned on its side with the back lifted up so the ball could pass through the walnut, strike the skull over the left maxilla just under the eye, and exit without striking the bones forming the floor of the cranium. Our purpose was to determine if the musket ball fired through a piece of hardwood had sufficient energy to fracture the maxilla bones of the human skull. The force of the ball striking the skull knocked the left maxilla and the base of the right maxilla off the skull and threw them about 15 feet from the box. Had this been a skull of a living person, the overlaying tissue would have prevented maxilla from being blown off the skull. However, we concluded that after being fired through, a musket ball still had sufficient force to fracture the maxilla bones. But even in the footnotes, they say the skull we have identified as Hyrum Smith originally identified as Joseph Smith. Shannon Tracy asserted that the skulls... See, here he is saying Shannon Tracy. I don't know why he's not saying Dr. Van der Graaf and Nels Herod, but... But yeah, it was DJ Bodden that is claiming that Shannon Tracy just twisted their words, or none of them really concluded they were misidentified. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And then he just told me I'm a bad artist, and so is Shannon Tracy. I'm like, I don't think Tracy's even an artist, and I just chose not to talk to him again. And I just said a lot of really mean things. He's just very angry. And DJ's the one that convinced Curtis to do what he did. But DJ also commented he doesn't think the Larson locket is Joseph Smith because of everything I've said, the curly hair, the thick eyebrows, all of that, and just the entire everything of the skull. Like, he actually did a presentation and met with church historians and Curtis and explained in great detail why he did not think Curtis was right. That happened. And they did note, this is in the church history, that the bodies... Oh, I need to fix that. Put that down there, sorry. It didn't copy and paste perfectly. Were removed by Dimmick Huntington, William, all these people at Emma's request. It was found at this time that 2 of Hyrum's teeth had fallen inside of his mouth, supposed to have been done by the ball during the martyrdom, by which was not discovered at the time he was laid out in consequence of his jaw being tied up. So they tied the jaw up, but like already like his face was falling in. So that was interesting. But really, there's a step deformity. The left eye is lower than the right, and you can see it on the death mask of Joseph Smith, not on the death mask of Hyrum Smith. Like, that's a major thing that they pointed out. So you can read in every detail little parts of what they had written in 1995, 2008, and and what Dr. Joseph Lyons has written. And a lot of these men have done great work and have passed away. I think they deserve more respect than they have gotten. And it's just heartbreaking to me. So there is a full page on that. And this is not me arguing with Curtis. It's just, I agree with these 6 doctors and just not with him or TJ. Except when it comes to Larson daguerreotype. Really don't think he should be putting people down. But he did. It's just really shocking and amazing, but shouldn't be, because it's just how they do things, right? Have a good day.